Bhagwan Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki Jai. Sarvam Yogi Ramsuratkumar Ashram. Now, Tiruvannamalai has been very, very hot all these days. What with the Agni star, the fire star up in the sky. Now, at long last, there is a rain just starting. We hope that there is a rain of blessings also from Bhagwan that would arrest the spread of the disease and bring the world to normalcy. As we have been seeing glimpses of the glory of the Nama and the Nami in the lives of the devotees. We shall see one or two incidents now also. Like I said yesterday, inside everybody's body, there is a heart center, a spiritual heart center, a little slightly towards the right. On the other hand, on the left side is a physical heart. And I describe to you how the individual soul is situated inside us. The soul here is the life of our life in the body. It is not only the life of our life in the body, it is the life of all creation. In the heart center, the heart, the spiritual heart, is in the form of a lotus bud and is hanging downward. In people who are still on the lower levels, eating, sleeping, and enjoying whatever comes our way, and no connection with God. They don't bother with God. All they want is happiness in life. That is what we call the lower self. When a man is awakened, he has to be awakened from the slumber of ignorance. When the wakefulness comes, even a little bit, this lotus bud will begin to turn up. Until then, it's hanging down. And as I said, it is connected. So many energy channels are connected to this heart bud, the heart lotus, which only energize the various parts of the body. Now inside this lotus bud is Chit Akash, Chidakash, the space of consciousness. Right in the middle is seated Pranagni, which is what we call the Pranan. When we say the Pranan has left somebody's body, it is this Pranagni that leaves the body. Until then, what does this Pranagni does? Whatever we eat will go to its trade. It will first eat it up, digest it, convert it into heat and energy, and distribute it to various parts of the body through these energy channels. Now inside this, the Pranagni, on the top, in the middle, on the top, is the Jivatma, the individual soul, and inside this individual soul is seated Paramatma, the Supreme God, who is formless, attributeless, who is pure awareness, what we call in Hindu terminology the Parabrahman, the supreme consciousness, the supreme awareness. This consciousness is the life of life. Now we see, I told you yesterday, every breath is rooted in this consciousness. Our in-breath and out-breath, they are rooted in the consciousness. And therefore, the I am a woman, I am a man, I am a child, I am old, I am dark, I have these defects. Oh, I am an achiever in life. This I am, this individual I am. This I, it's called the ego I, the ego self. When it rises from the consciousness, from the divine consciousness, the breath also rises along with it. So the breath and the individual self, the individual ego, both arise together and they subside together. They arise from the consciousness and subside into the consciousness. That is why Raman Maharishi said, you do Atma Vichara. Find out what is I, which is the basic thought. Every other thought comes from this. Find out this basic I thought. What is it? He says, just find out where this I rises, where the breath rises, both the breath and the I. And there, with your entire being, you look without any preconceived ideas. Look with a sense of inquiry. You do not know what is there. You do not know what God is. But you know up till this. The breath starts, and with the breath, the I feeling, the ego starts. Now he says, find out where they originate, and then put your entire concentration at that point, and after that, it's only revelation. Whatever is beyond it will have to reveal itself. You cannot find out. You, the individual ego, cannot find out with your mind. You cannot find out with the breath. It's beyond, and it has to reveal itself. And that is how the revelation happened to all those great people. In fact, when you sit for meditation, Bhagwan taught me to pray, God, Kindly reveal yourself in all your infinite glory to me. I do not know anything. Please reveal yourself. If you reveal, I will know. This is one of the most important prayers to the Divine, because the Divine should choose to reveal. Now, as I said, the I feeling, I am, this individual is connected closely with the breath. Both of them start together and subside together into the Chaitanya. So if you want to control your thoughts, or if you want to find out who this I am, in Raja Yoga, they control one and the other get controlled by itself. Either you can control your thoughts, then you see how it reflects in your breathing. The breathing becomes slow and steady. But when your thoughts are in turbulence, your breath also will begin to wave, just like a flame waves, the wavering of the flame in strong wind. So you see your breath becomes breathless. There is shortage of breath, and then you breathe very fast. The calmer your mind, the deeper is breathing. The more turbulent, more disturbed your mind is, then the faster the breath. They are very closely connected. And that is why we say the very breath starts from the Chaitanya and it subsides in the Chaitanya. So when you chant the name of the Chaitanya, when you chant the name of the Divine God, the Supreme inside, the Chaitanya is the divinity. It means divinity. The divinity of your personal God, the divinity of your Sadguru, the divinity of anything that you consider as the Supreme. When you begin to connect with the Supreme by chanting the name, then automatically the breath also comes under control, which means the breathing becomes deeper, which means the lungs will be filled with oxygen. The lungs must expand and the intake of air must be large and the oxygen must reach 100. This is the secret. That is why we say when you are breathless, you are on oxygen and there is no change at all, or the oxygen content is becoming lower and lower. Please chant the name of Bhagwan inside. You can, if you are still conscious, you can still do the chanting inside. And every nama that you utter inside is very powerful. It connects you closely to the Divine, and then the breath picks up. Oxygen picks up. This is the inner mechanism. I told you yesterday. Somebody had sent a video where a person inserts his finger and begins to chant Vitthal, Vitthal, Vitthal. And you see the number of the oxygen here, increasing slowly to 98, 99. Atiti Ashram, Mataji, Soumyaji sent me this video and I was so happy to see it. Here is the proof, because everybody wants proof these days, and scientific proof. Even if this proof doesn't exist in this physical form, the truth remains. Every nama that we utter will come to our rescue. It can change anything in a fraction of a second. But then we have to remember the name, and to remember the name at that moment, you have to remember the name all your life. Otherwise, it fails. So let us remember this and see an example or two, an episode or two, how the Nama has helped. Many people who come to the ashram knows the ashram sevak, Vardhini. Her family consists of her mother, who is working in the Indian Bank, her son, Vardhini's son, Aprameyan, and her grandfather, Soundararajan. When her grandfather was 80 years, they were all living in Chennai. Shri Soundararajan, grandfather of Vardhini, had done wonderful service for 25 years to the Jiya Ranganarayan of Srirangam. 25 years of Kainkaryam, close Kainkaryam to the Jiya. But after that, the family needed him and he had to come to Chennai. So they got settled down in Chennai, and that's when those people began to come to the ashram, because Shri Muralidhara Swamiji spoke about Bhagwan's greatness, the glory of Bhagwan's Nama in many of his speeches. Now one day, at the time, Vardhini had come to the ashram to do seva, full-time seva. We have given her a room, and she was staying, and every day, early morning, 5:30, when we opened the sanctum sanctorium, I would make her sing this particular song. There is only one aim in life, and that is Tiruvannamalai. That is coming to Tiruvannamalai. Is our one aim, one goal of life. The song says in its first line, and then in the second line it says, there is only one desire, and that is the desire for darshan of Yogi Ramsuratkumar. And the third line of the song is, there is only one path to God, and that is the path of love. And the fourth line says, there is only one mantra which can do all this, which can accentuate your goal, your desire for darshan, and you're following the path of love. And that is the mantra Yogi Ramsuratkumar. A beautiful song written by our Mother Vijayalakshmi's sister, Mother Rajalakshmi, who is 90 years now, who is staying in Chennai. She used to come for darshan of Bhagwan, and whenever she came, she would write poems on Bhagwan. One of the poems that she sent is this, and we used to sing this before Bhagwan. Bhagwan liked it very much. So I used to make Vardhini sing this so that the song sung before Bhagwan would stabilize her mind, establish her in the aim of life, in service, and in the mantra. And of course it worked. But then at the time she did not know why I was making her sing, but she would obey and do it. One day from Chennai, her whole family had come down to the ashram. Her grandfather Soundararajan said, on his tongue, on one side of his tongue, there is a wound, a hurt, and it was very deep. Probably with his teeth he bit into the tongue or something. We do not know how it happened. It was deep enough, and what is more, it did not heal for some time, and now it had turned color. It was turning bluish black. And one could see the deep hurt there, the deep wound. It must have been very, very painful for him. Of course, he went to the doctor, and all the doctors they showed unanimously said it is cancer, the tongue cancer. This is what they said. But one doctor said, okay, you send it for biopsy. So after sending it for biopsy, before the result came, they had come running to the ashram to pray to Bhagwan that it should not be cancer. There was every symptom of cancer. It was something like a foregone conclusion from the doctors. So when he came here and showed me his mouth, I saw the way it was, almost hopeless. What could I say? But all I said, our Bhagwan is here, we shall pray to Bhagwan, we shall chant his name, the rest is his responsibility. Didn't our Bhagwan say always, whatever you can do, you do. The rest will be seen by Father. So all that we can do is chant his name and pray and leave the rest to Bhagwan, our Father. So we kept on doing it, and then they left after some days for Chennai, and when the report came, to the wonder and delight of everybody, the report said it was no cancer. Just imagine, her grandfather was very, very needed by the family because Vardhini had come down for seva. Her son had to be looked after, was only a boy of 11 years at the time. It was in 2015. And her mother was working, still working in Indian Bank. So he was very much needed in the family, and suppose something should happen to him, the whole family shivered even to think about it. But now, to the delight and happiness of everybody, the doctor declared there was no cancer. What a miracle! It was surely cancer, the way it looked, every bit of it. But it was definitely the Nama that he and the whole family and here in the ashram, that helped him, that cured him. But then After the result, it was not as though the wound had disappeared altogether. The lesion was still there. And what was more, it was very painful. And it had to heal, but it was not healing. The doctors gave him antibiotic after antibiotic. He took several, one after the other, and still there was no healing at all, no sign of healing. Again, they came rushing to the ashram, and then I said, okay, our Bhagwan's Vibuthi is there. I have seen its power in many cases, so I recommended that. I said, you take this Vibuthi, put it in warm water, keep it before Bhagwan, chant his name and pray to him that this medicine should cure you completely. And take it 3 times a day like you would take medicine. After he went there, he gave up medicines altogether. That I did not advise, but then he did it. He began to depend only upon this medicine. He would chant and pray and then take this 3 times a day. And he kept on taking it continuously. And within a few days it got healed miraculously. What the antibiotics could not do, what all those doctors' examination did not do, Bhagwan's Vibuthi in water did in a few days. Now 2018, now in 2015 when this lesion happened, he was 80 years. Now 2018, the centenary celebrations were going on in a grand manner, and by then the whole family had shifted to Tiruvannamalai. They found a house near the ashram, the first floor. It was Guru Purnima day. Usually on Guru Purnima day, from 9 to 12 the chanting would be held. But that time it was being centenary celebration. We wanted to keep it from 9 o'clock till 4 in the morning. So the whole night, in a very, very grand manner, the chanting was going on. Many, many, many people crowded into Pradhan Mandir. Very interesting stories also happened. And the chanting was going on from 9 o'clock. Of course, Vardhini's grandfather could stay only till 11 o'clock, and he and his grandson, they returned home. But the mother and daughter continued till 4 o'clock. And they had just returned home. They slept off. At 6 o'clock, Shri Soundararajan came down the steps to take milk. Of course, he collected the milk and then he climbed the staircase. But when he reached the door, something happened. He kind of collapsed. Even then he shouted loudly, "Yogi Ramsuratkumar! Yogi Ramsuratkumar!" He shouted and fell down. He did not, they say that he sat down. Because he was, even when he went down the stairs, he was chanting Yogi Ramsuratkumar Nama. Even as he climbed up with the milk, he was still chanting Yogi Ramsuratkumar. But when he fell down at the doorstep, he cried out Yogi Ramsuratkumar with his entire being, knowing that something was happening, something terrible was happening to him. And of course, people heard the shout and then they rushed. And the little boy, who was I think 13 years at that time, he came running from inside, and you see the resourcefulness of the boy. He suddenly took the Vibuthi, Adhisthana Vibuthi. He must have remembered the previous time how his tata, the grandfather, took Vibuthi water. So he brought the Vibuthi, came rushing to his grandpa and shouted, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, shouting desperately. The boy put both his hands, he put the Vibuthi on the forehead of the grandpa. For him it is great-grandfather. So he put the Vibuthi on his forehead, put a little inside his mouth, and then he put both hands, he spread both the hands on the chest of his great-grandfather, shouting desperately, Yogi Ramsuratkumar. He kept on pressing it. He kept on pressing. And suddenly, within minutes, see, this grandfather was sweating profusely. When these people came to see what was happening, to their horror, they found his face turning blue. His tongue was twisted, and the whole body was sweating profusely. So this little boy put both his hands spread on the chest, and he kept on pressing hard. At the same time shouting, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar. He was very afraid, he was horrified, he was terrified. So he kept on shouting. And then the magic happened. Within minutes, normalcy was restored to the great-grandfather of a Prameyan. The timely gesture. What made the boy do that? What made Shri Soundararajan shout Yogi Ramsuratkumar at the time of falling down, not knowing what was happening to him? Every step is being arranged by the Divine. Unless the Divine inspires us into action, no human being is capable of any resourceful action. So within minutes he was restored, and then at 10 o'clock they took him to a doctor, and the doctor said it was a hairline escape from the paralytic attack. And what was more, anything else could have happened. That is when these people knew that he was also a heart patient. He never revealed it to anybody, that he had pain in the heart, off and on. So even a heart attack could have happened, a stroke could have happened, but those few cries of Yogi Ramsuratkumar Nama, done in desperation, saved 83-year-old Shri Soundararajan. Now, I have been telling such stories because such is the condition today. People are suffering in some way or the other because of this corona and its variants. They're all distressed, and the virus is playing havoc with the lives of people. Of course, we take the medicine prescribed by the doctor, treatment, that's okay, but at the same time, we should never forget to connect with the Divine. He's right inside you. The oxygen has to come from outside. The hospital is far away. The first aid is the Nama. You don't have to phone up to God. You just have to chant the name and you get immediately connected to the Chaitanya within. It's a very strange thing. The divinity, the Chaitanya, is right inside the Jivatma, like I said. Paramatma is seated inside the Jivatma, in the middle of the Jivatma, and yet, unless the Jivatma cries out, connects deliberately, the Paramatma is a mere witness. But the minute you connect, the minute you cry out with your entire being, Paramatma, who has been witnessing everything, a mere witness, would immediately respond to the desperation. He's all love. This awareness, the witness awareness, would immediately become an embodiment of compassion. And then the grace flows. In line with the situation. So you see, people should not forget saying that, oh, this discomfort, that discomfort, so mind is drawn only to that pain and to that part of the body, this and that. Even amidst all that pain, your first urge should be to connect with God, to chant His name, to cry out to Him. This is your first aid. So you open a channel of grace from the Divine, who is seated right inside you. He knows. He is your consciousness. Your consciousness you derive from the Supreme Consciousness, but your consciousness is limited, unlike His. His is all-knowing consciousness, but yours is limited consciousness, so you do not know what is in the back, what is behind you, and you do not know what's going to happen in future. This is the darkness of the ignorance, and this is the characteristic of the ego self. So, Bhagwan seated inside in the lotus of the heart, He knows everything that's going on, but He will not respond until you call out. That's the way it works. And things happen in everybody's life according to the law of karma. Why? The law of karma does not apply to animals, the lower beings, the plants, the trees, the birds, the creepy crawlers. It applies only to men. Why? We have all life has consciousness, but what do they call it? Discrimination. What is good, what is bad? What is dharma, what is adharma? What is punya, what is papa? The discrimination, the discriminating faculty is given only to mankind. And because of the discrimination, you should know what is good, what is bad, what is dharma and what is adharma, and follow it as per the dictates of your conscience. Otherwise, you will be punished. This is the law, the relentless law of karma, designed by the very divinity. So let's pray to Bhagwan, who is standing here with his raised hand in benediction, assuring and reassuring that I am here, do not fear, but connect with me, chant my name, pray to me, I will see to the rest. Bhagwan, we beg you, we have been begging you every day for your immediate divine intervention to free the humanity from the dreaded virus and its variants, and bring back normalcy, a dharmic normalcy in every aspect of the world, of life in the world. Particularly the world in general and India in particular. India has taken enough punishment from the second wave. We do not know what is involved, but we know that we have to seek only your grace for this, for the relief. Bhagwan, uproot the panic from the hearts of people, arrest the spread of the diseases, enter the medicines for treatment and make them work. And above all, please reach out all those people who are waiting for long to get oxygen or to get a room in the hospital. We beg you again and again to bless them with whatever is necessary for their treatment, and also bless them with cure, fast cure, so that they can return home completely cured. And Bhagwan, we beg you again, all those sevaks, the volunteers from medical department, the doctors, nurses, and the volunteers from sanitary department, the volunteers from the police, and the social volunteers. They are laboring day and night, fighting the disease at the very risk of their lives, against all challenges, all odds of life. Please give them protection and all-round wellness. And Bhagwan, we also beg for a boost to the economy. Many people without any income are suffering so much, unable to come out, unable to do anything for their income. Only you can take care of them. And Bhagwan, we beg you for constant remembrance of your name. Please bless us with the right attitude, the attitude of being a good instrument in your hands, and go about our lives. And above all, please give us that transformation, that purification, that we would be able to see only your presence and blessings in every event of life. Jai Yogi Ramsuratkumar.